Today let us study about the way to happiness. If you ask everybody wants to be happy. Then what must one do and how should one live to be happy? This everyone should know. Out of compassion for beings, the Lord Buddha has taught us the way to happiness. Happiness is of two kinds. One is happiness in this very life, and another is happiness in future lives. Happiness in this life can be brought about by 4 sampadas. Paliwa sampata means achievement or attainment, or you have to fulfill 4 features, namely Autthana sampata, Araika sampata, Kalyana Metata, and Samajivita. Of the 4, the first one, Autthana sampata, means vigilance or diligence in doing business. And whatever work one do, be it agriculture, commerce, or educational work, one should exert one's skill and work diligently. If one works like this, one will earn what one deserves. The number 2 is Araka Sampata. It means wariness or being watchful so that one's accumulated possessions or wealth may not be lost by destructive elements. Then number 3 is Kalyana Metata, means association with wise and noble friends. Friends who can help one and working for one's well-being. To have such good friends, it is important that one's dealings with people must be motivated by metta or goodwill or love. According to our Lord Buddha, a wise and noble friend means one who has the virtues of sada, faith, sila or morality, jaga or liberality or generosity, and panya or wisdom. Why? If the friend lacks in faith, your faith can fail. If the friend lacks in morality, yours can fail. If the friend is not generous and is not wise in matter of the law, one too will be lacking in liberality and higher wisdom. Then the 4th one is Samajivita, means right livelihood or living within one's means. One should spend less than one's income, but not more. If possible, one should lay aside a quarter of one's income and spend the rest. There are many instances of people who live within their means and become rich. There are likewise many instances of people who become rich by following the other sampadas we just now explained. Therefore, to be well off and be happy, one has to try to live by these sampadas or fulfillments. It is more important to be happy in one's future lives throughout samsara, that is a round of rebirths, than to be happy just now. So to be happy throughout the round of rebirths, Buddha has taught us 4 other sampadas. They are 1. Sada sampata, 2. Sila sampata, 3. Jaga sampata, and 4. Panya sampata. Out of the 4, Sada sampata means faith, to achieve faith. And what one should have faith in? One should have faith in the true Buddha, the true Dhamma, the true Sangha, and law of karma and its result. The true Buddha has 9 virtues. Of the 9 virtues, one is Arahant. It means one who is cleansed of all kilesas or mental defilements like greed, lobha or greed, dosa or hatred, and moha or delusion. Sammasambuddha means one who knows the full truths by one's own knowledge. Buddha means one who has the virtue of knowing all the dhammas by omniscience and teaching the Four Noble Truths so that beings too may know them. One endowed with 3 virtues, with these 3 virtues, the other 6 virtues follow. Putting faith in the Buddha with these virtues is true faith. To have such faith is, in Pali we call Saddha Sammata. The true Dhamma is the 9 Lokuttara, meaning supramundane Dhammas, consisting of 4 Aryan paths, the 4 Aryan fruitions, and Nibbana, and the teaching which makes known these 9 to us. These then are the true Dhamma. The true Sangha is the order of disciples of the Buddha who are pursuing the practice of Sila or morality, Samadhi or concentration, and Panya or higher wisdom, so that they may be free from all kilesas or mental defilements like greed or lobha, hatred or dosa, and delusion or moha. Faith in true Dhamma and true Sangha is true faith. To have such faith too is, in Pali we call Saddha Sammata. Believe in karma and its result. Believe that a bad karma or deed or action brings bad fruit and good karma brings good fruit is true faith. To have this faith also is Saddha Sammata. To have faith in karma and its result is essential. If one does not believe in karma and its effects, or wrongly believes that someone will save us, then one will not do good deeds and will do bad deeds instead. So having not done good deeds, one will not enjoy happiness but meet with sufferings, which are the result of the bad deeds. It is just like someone who, having eaten bad food instead of good or proper food, has to suffer from illness. During Buddha's time, a young man by the name of Supa once put forward a question to our Lord Buddha. He said, "Lord Buddha, why is it that among human beings some live short, some live long, some have poor health, some sickly, some are ugly, some are beautiful, some are friendless, some have plenty, some are poor, some are rich, some are low-born, some are high-born, some are ignorant, some are intelligent. Why is it there are the law of these low and high states?" To this, Buddha replied, "Kama Saka Manawa Satta Kama Dayada Kama Yoni Kama Bandhu Kama Pati Sarana Kama Sati Vipajati Yadidam Hina Panidaya," meaning, young men, owners of their deeds are the beings, heirs of their deeds are the womb that bear them, their deeds are their relatives, their deeds are their refuge, their deeds differentiate the beings into low and high states. This is a brief statement on how karma works. On request by the young man Supa, Buddha elaborated as such. The first pair, short and long lives. Buddha said, if someone kills a living being, as a result of this deed of killing, one after dying will arise in apaya or four lower realms of woeful states. If born a human being, then one will live a short life. One who abstains from killing after dying will arise in Deva celestial realm, and if born a human being, one will live long. Then the second pair of sickness and health. One who hurts other living beings will arise in apaya. If born a human being, one will be sickly. If being compassionate and hurts not, one will be reborn in celestial realm, and if born a human being, one will be free from sickness and will be healthy. Then the third pair of ugliness and beauty. One who is obsessed by anger will arise in apaya. If born a human being, one will be ugly. One who controls one's anger and have a good will or metta, choose forbearance, will be reborn a deva. If born a human being, one will have beauty. Then the next pair of having few and many friends. If one is jealous of other people's progress or prosperity, one will arise in apaya. If born a human being, one will become friendless. If instead of jealousy one feels rejoice, one will be reborn a deva. If born a human being, one will have many friends. Then the next pair is body and wealth. If one is not generous and even prevent others not to give, one will arise in apaya. If born a human being, one will be very poor. If one is generous and indulge in generosity, one will be born in celestial realm, and even if one is born as a human being, one will be wealthy and rich. Then the next pair is low-born and high-born. If being conceited, a person does not show respect to those persons who are worthy of respect, one will be born in apaya. If born a human being, one will be born in the lower strata or lower social strata. If one shows respect for those to whom respect is due, one will be reborn as a deva. If born a human being, one will be born in high society. Then the next pair is ignorance and intelligence. If one does not make effort to develop wisdom, like what is good, what is evil, then as a result of bad deeds having done or spoken, what ought not to have been done or spoken, one will be born in apaya. If born a human being, one will become ignorant person. If one is diligent in developing wisdom, like learning what is good, what is evil, what is blameworthy, what is blameless, what ought to be done, what ought not to be done, what deed will bring disadvantages and suffering for long, what deed will bring advantages and happiness for long, one will be reborn a deva. If born a human being, one will be wise and intelligent. These are the 7 bad demeritorious deeds that will bring suffering, and the 7 good meritorious deeds that will bring happiness. Here the 7 bad deeds arise when there is no loving kindness or metta, goodwill, and when anger and others prevail. So if one keep on cultivating metta, that is loving kindness or goodwill, there will be no occasion for the bad deeds to come up. Everyone wants to be happy oneself and free from suffering. At the same time, one wishes others peace and happiness. To cultivate metta or loving kindness, one thinks of men, devas or animals individually or collectively and radiate in one's mind, and may all beings be happy. This one does in one's mind. If possible, one help them with words of love. If there is something one can do, one do it personally to help them. Even if one cannot help them by bodily action or words, one refrain from acting or speaking what should not be done or said. This is cultivating metta or loving kindness in deeds and words. If one practices metta under one king jhana, then one can be reborn in Brahmawal and live happily there for aeons. But Lord Buddha did not want us to rest content with happiness in the Brahma heaven only. Buddha always advocate all of disciples to practice this vipassana bhavana insight meditation, the practice that will lead one to the attainment of path and fruition and realize Nibbana. So we'll have to talk something about this vipassana bhavana or insight meditation that you all are practicing and familiar. Anyway, we'll have to revise again. Vipassana is meditation on the arising and passing away of the 5 upadana khandhas, meaning 5 aggregates of clinging, and knowing that all are anicca or impermanent, dukkha or unsatisfactory, anatta or egoless. Upadana, grasping, is made of dana, craving, and deity, wrong view. The view that is a living atta or self. The material and mental aggregates grasped by dana and deity are called upadana khandhas. These material and mental aggregates manifest themselves when one sees, hears, smells, tastes, touch and think. If one fails to note them as they come up and does not know them as they really are, one mistake them for nature or permanent, sukha or pleasurable things, atta or it is souls, and cling to them with dana and deity, craving and wrong view. In order that we may not cling to them, we have to note whatever material or mental phenomena comes up when we see or hear and so on. In the Satipatthana Sutta, as we have explained many times, we are taught to observe the bodily movements like walking, standing, sitting and lying down, and to be aware of as walking, standing, sitting and lying down. Pleasant and unpleasant feelings too, we are taught to be aware. It is a pleasant feeling or good, it is unpleasant feeling or bad, and so on. Mind or thoughts too, we are taught to be aware, whether it is a passionate thought or dispassionate thought, whether it is anger or non-anger, and so on. And Dharmanupassana too, as we have many times explained, When you are noting a scene, you have to understand the scene involves the flesh or the physical organ, the eye, the visible object, and the consciousness that arises by these coming together, we call contact. And so also when you note hearing, the hearing, the sound and the ear, and the hearing consciousness arise, so on. If one fails to note and does not know them as they really are, when one sees or hears, then raga or pleasures and the things seen or sound heard, or dosa or anger, or such kilesas or defilements can arise. And these kilesas, they arouse moral and immoral deeds. Because of these, one may be reborn in lower states of apaya, or one may be born a human or a deva and suffer old age, sickness and death and such miseries. So, one who fails to meditate on the arising material and mental phenomena and fails to know them as they really are is far away from Nibbana. This is explained in Maluchapoda Sutta. Look, if one makes a mental note of whatever one sees or hears and knows very clearly for oneself that things come and go without staying for a moment, and comprehend that they are impermanent, unsatisfactory, just mere psychophysical phenomena without a self. Knowing them as they really are, one lets no chance for the arising of the kilesas or defilements such as raga or lobha, for the things seen, dosa or anger about them and so on. They are calmed and one. Once free from both moral and immoral deeds, so one is free from suffering or being reborn in the lower realms of awful states. And one will be free from suffering, old age, illness, and death. This is how one gains peace and freedom in connection with one's meditation. When this meditational insight, which brings freedom from suffering, is fully developed, then one realizes Nibbana through the knowledge of the path and fruition of arhatship. Eventually, one realizes Nibbana through the path and fruition of arhatship and puts an end to all sufferings. Therefore, one who meditates on the arising material and mental phenomena to understand them as they really are, whenever one sees or hears and so on, is near to Nibbana, the end of suffering. This too is explained in Maluchapoda Sutta. Thus, whatever comes up through the 6 sense doors and 6 sense organs, like seeing or hearing, we have to note and be aware as seeing, hearing. But to the beginner to note and aware of every arising is quite impossible. So one must begin with a few things that can be easily discerned. Only then can concentration be developed easily, and so can insight knowledge. Every time one breathes in and breathes out, one's abdomen moves, and its rising and falling is quite plain and easy to meditate on. That is why we instruct our yogis to meditate with this, as the abdomen rises, note rising, as it falls, note falling. This rising and falling is wind element or vayu dhatu, the air element or the element of motion. The word rising and falling does not matter. The point is to discern the material form motion. While meditating thus, if any thought or imagination comes up, note imagining, or thinking. This is what we call Citta Nupassana Satipatthana, contemplation of the mind. After noting the mind, one can go back to the primary object or noting the rising and falling of the abdomen. If a painful sensation comes up to the body, one has to note it. After that, go back to the rising and falling. If there is any bending or stretching of the limbs as you adjust your bodily posture, one must know as bending, stretching. Whatever bodily movement there is, one has to note it. This is Kaya Nupassana Satipatthana, contemplation on the bodily phenomena. When one sees, one must note as seeing. When one hears sound, note as hearing. This is Dhamma Nupassana, or contemplation of the mental states. If one keep on meditating on whatever comes up, one's concentration becomes strong. Then one distinguishes between rupa, or the material phenomena of what is to be cognized, and the nama, what cognizes, or what is the mind that notes. And one knows how cause brings effect, and how this cause and effect relation goes on. One knows how new things arise, and they pass away. Then one plainly sees for oneself how things come and go without staying a moment. So all are impermanent. Being impermanent, these psychophysical phenomena are all unsatisfactory, and they arise and pass away on their own accord, subject to nobody's will. So are all non-self. Knowing all these is insight knowledge. While one is thus meditating, and as one's insight develops, there comes the knowledge of Ariyam path and fruition. If one reaches the lowest of knowledge of the path and fruition of Sodapatti, Megha, Phala, stream-winning, one is saved from the four lower realms of woeful states forever. One will be reborn to high and happy lives in the world of men and gods. Within 7 parts of these happy lives, one will reach the path and fruition of arhatship and become an arhat. After Prinivana, that means final passing away of the arhat, no new births, no new rupas or namas will be reborn, and there will be eternal peace. So, by meditating on the arising material forms and mental qualities, beginning with the rising and falling of the abdomen, and making efforts, may you all develop the insight knowledge that realizes the impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self nature of these rupas and namas, or mind and the matter, and may you all very soon attain the path, fruition, and nibbana.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Dhammi punya.
Dhamme punya.
Nibbanasa.
Nibbanasa.
Pacayo.
Pacayo.
Hotu.
Hotu.
Idhammi punya.
Dhamme punya.
Yatinam hotu.
Yatina hotu.
Sukhita hontu nyatayo.
Sukita hontu nyatayo.
Imano.
Imano.
Punya bhaga.
Punya bhaga.
Sabha satana.
Sabha satana.
Tema.
Tema. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
May you all be happy. May you all be healthy. May you all be free from suffering. May all attain eternal peace or Nibbana in the shortest possible time.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.